I take this time to speak in favor of the pending amendment, the Matthew Shepard Hate Crime Prevention Act. This is similar to an amendment that we considered last year to try to advance the modifications of the federal hate crime statute. Some have questioned whether we need this act. They claim that the instances of hate crimes in America have diminished. I wish that were the case, Madam President. I wish we didn't need to have a separate law to deal with hate-motivated violent acts in America. All we need to look at is what happened at the Holocaust Museum on June 15th of this year, where Stephen Johns was murdered, security guard. He was murdered by someone who had extreme views. Look at Lawrence King, a 15-year-old, died on February 12, 2008, because he was gay. Or look what happened after the last elections, when two men went on a killing spree to find African Americans. Or what happened in July of 2008, when 4 teenagers were brutally beaten up because they were immigrants. All we needed to look at is the FBI statistics. They indicate in 2007 there were 7,600 reported hate crimes in America. Madam President, that's the reported hate crimes. And we know that many of these acts go unreported, and the numbers are much larger. Ethnic communities are reporting an increase in violent acts motivated by hate. So, unfortunately, this law is needed. And we need to strengthen the law so that it can effectively accomplish its purpose. Now, what do I mean by that? This amendment, this law builds on federalism. It builds on what our states are already doing to combat these crimes. 45 states have separate laws that deal with hate crimes. 31 deal with violence against someone because of their sexual orientation. 27 include gender violence. What we need to do is strengthen our federal law so that federalism, in fact, can work. The federal government has resources which the states don't always have in order to be able to pursue these types of violent acts. This amendment to the federal statute would strengthen the federal statute so it would apply to gender and disability acts based upon someone's gender or sexual orientation or disability. And it would go beyond the current federal law, which only allows federal involvement if the crime occurs during some protected activity. It also provides the resources to help our states. By that, the bill provides grants to state, local, and tribal law enforcement entities for prosecution, programming, and education related to hate crimes prosecution and prevention. The bill contains a requirement that the Department of Justice certify that federal prosecution is necessary because the states cannot or will not effectively prosecute the state. This is to supplement the actions of the state, to work with our states, to respect what federalism should be about. Most of these matters will be handled by the state. The federal government may be able to help the state. And this bill will allow us to do exactly that. The bill also contains provisions broadening the categories of hate crimes tracked by the FBI. So these are improvements in the law that will maintain our ability to deal with this type of outrageous activity. Some of us have questioned, well, isn't every violent crime a hate crime? The answer is no. A hate crime occurs because the perpetrator intentionally selects the victim because of who the victim is. Like acts of terrorism, hate crimes have a greater impact because they can not only affect the victim, they affect our entire community. We're all diminished when someone in our community is violated because of his or her ethnic background or because of race or because of being attacked on sexual orientation. We need to speak to our national priorities. This amendment speaks to what America should stand for, that we will not permit or tolerate someone to be 'cause of that person's gender or race or because of that person's sexual orientation or disability. This is a bill that has enjoyed broad bipartisan support in this body. Many of us have worked for many years in order to improve the federal government's ability to respond in these areas. This is the next chapter that needs to be done. I hope my colleagues will do what we did in the prior Congress and pass this amendment to the Defense Authorization Bill so that we can move forward to strengthen our resolve against this type of hate activity in America.